Hey friends, welcome back to Simply a Better You. Today we are making apple butter. This will be your traditional apple butter recipe. I am doing this in a crock pot, so that will kind of help with the long cook time that's going to happen here. But I went to the store. If you guys haven't realized it, it is apple season, so apples will generally go on sale right now. If you can find a local farmer that is selling apples, definitely recommend 100% get your apples from them. If you don't have access to that, run to your store and get yourself a great organic apple or an apple that you like to eat and make some apple butter. So I went to the store and I picked up 4 3-pound bags of apples. We went with an apple that we like to eat, so we'll usually pick up like a gala apple, a pink lady, a honey crisp. These are on the sweeter side, so that means less sugar. At least that's how, I interpret it. If you do something like a Granny Smith or a really tart apple, you are going to have to add quite a bit of sugar to this, and I'm kind of trying to avoid that. So we went with an apple that we enjoy eating just on a regular basis. That way it has a great apple flavor, it has a good sweetness to it, and I don't need to add as much sugar. So this is going to be probably an 8 to 12 hour cook time in this. I'll probably add about a cup of sugar to this and add more if needed. That's usually what generally happens. I follow the recipe, and I will make sure I share the recipe with you down below. But the recipe that I have is for a tartar apple, so I cut the sugar in half. I add salt to taste, cinnamon to taste. You can add a little bit of nutmeg in there for some extra flavor, some vanilla, a little bit of lemon. I have also seen people add apple cider vinegar to it. It's not something that I do, but you can add water to this, or you can add an apple juice, or if you have a really good apple cider on hand, add the apple cider because it'll taste amazing. So I am going to go ahead and start in on this. Hannah and I have been working really hard with coring and cutting up some apples. These are about 1-inch bite-sized pieces, and this just helps the cooking process along. It breaks down a little faster. You do not have to peel them if you do not want to. I prefer the texture of it without the peels. I have used the hand mixer, the immersion blender, and I can taste the peels. Everybody else didn't mind, but it just wasn't what I was looking for, so I peel my apples. This takes some time for us. We do not have the apple peeler and corer. We do it the old-fashioned way. I have an apple slicer, handy dandy paring knives, and a vegetable peeler, which makes peeling the little apple wedges a whole lot easier. More hands in the kitchen makes this process go a lot faster. Hannah has been in here helping me. We have almost a full crock pot done, and she's out checking on the chickens right now. Just a quick tidbit of information: if you do have chickens, you're a new chicken parent, you can feed apples to your chickens. However, they can't eat the apple core because of the seeds. So, if I have extra old apple pieces or the skins, I will throw that to them, but I do not feed them the apple core because of the seeds that are in them. They are poisonous. So, it's just food for thought. The rest of this is probably going to hit the compost pile because as we are moving into winter, I'm trying to build up as much compost as I can because next spring it's coming, a new gardening season because my garden is kaput. It's done. So I've got about, I want to say maybe 20 apples to finish peeling here, so I'm going to get that done really quick, and then I will be putting this in the insert into the crock pot here, and we are going to cook this on low for anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. We're looking for a really good dark brown apple butter consistency, and then we will tweak the seasonings as we go. Okay, so to this I'm going to start with 2 cups of sugar first and see how we do. I've already added my cup of apple juice in the bottom of this. So we're going to do 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Maybe a little extra. I always feel like you can never have enough vanilla. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I don't have my tablespoon thingy. So now I'm generously measuring. And I'm generously measuring because I'm doing it in front of you. Otherwise, you know, I would just kind of, we're going to do 2 teaspoons of salt. This I don't eyeball, I actually measure it out. Oh my goodness, I'm almost out of salt. I've got my Azure order coming up here soon, so I've got some Redmond salt coming. Okay, so we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of nutmeg. There's a half. And there's 1. You can also put some clove in this, which is really good. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of clove. So I've got this loaded down. So it's going to be hard to stir up a little bit here, but we're going to let this cook down. I was actually looking up a recipe in which you could cook in a pressure cooker. I thought, well, that's different. Okay, now we'll let the waiting process begin. We're going to put the lid on this and start letting it cook. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this on low and let it cook for about 8 to 10 hours. It's going to make your house smell amazing. Okay, I thought I would give you a quick update. We're about 4 hours into cooking, and I kind of wanted you guys to see the consistency of the apples. They're kind of like a fried apple at this point. They taste really good, but they're soft but still firm. So you can see there's lots of liquid in there right now. So lots of liquid, and we are going to keep cooking this down. So I will be back to check this in another 2 hours to see where it is, and we may go as long as 8 o'clock. All right, we are just about at that 8-hour mark, and you can see the color is completely different, texture is different. These are super soft. So I am going to go ahead and strain some of this liquid out because this is a lot of liquid. And then you can always add liquid in as needed. So I'm going to pull this out and put it in a measuring cup and keep it off to the side. And I'm going to take an immersion blender and start blending this up. Remember, I had put that little extra cup of apple juice on top to kind of wash the seasonings down. I probably really didn't need to do it. But I want an apple butter consistency. I do not want this to come out like applesauce. So we're going to take some of this liquid out. This handheld immersion blender has been one of the best gifts I have ever received. I got this for a Christmas gift from my mother over 20 years ago. It's that old. It's a KitchenAid, you know, when those were affordable. So I'm just going to kind of pulse it to get it started. Just make sure that you keep it below the apples in the liquid so it doesn't splatter on you because this is very hot. So you can see it's starting to take on that apple butter consistency. But it looks like applesauce still. It still has an applesauce texture to it. While I'm making a huge mess here. So now we are going to blend this about 7 to 10 minutes until this is really thick and creamy, more apple butter consistency. And then we're going to let this cook with the lid off for a little while to let the rest of the water evaporate. I feel like this part takes forever. So you can see a difference in the apple butter. It is a lot more smoother. Holy cow, that's hot. It is a lot smoother. It's not chunky, doesn't have the applesauce consistency, but you can also see it's still pretty runny. So that's why we're going to let this cook for a little bit longer with the lid off so that it thickens up really nicely. So I'm not sure what happened, but I lost my audio, so we're going to do a quick voiceover here. As you can see, the apple butter has really thickened up. It's even a little darker now. So this is ready to go. You can definitely tell when it's done. You'll see the consistency change. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. It tastes amazing. I didn't need to add any more additional sugar or any additional spices. And I am going to go ahead and water bath can these. I'll be giving some of these away as gifts. And I don't know how my daughter in Florida found out I was doing this, but I've already received the request to please send apple butter. So I will include in the description below the recipe that I used as well as some canning instructions. But I'm using basically jelly jars that I can my jelly in, and it's not very much different than if you were canning strawberry jam or something. So you're going to fill your jars up to 1/4 of an inch headspace, and you want to make sure that you are wiping down these rims really well. Remember, this has sugar in it and it is very sticky, so kind of do the extra wipe. Make sure you're using a nice clean cloth or paper towel with some vinegar. And then go ahead and place your lids on top. And we are going to add our rings. Now remember, when you put your rings on, these are fingertip tight. Don't over tighten them or your lids will buckle. We don't want anything to explode or to go wrong. And then we're going to water bath can these for 15 minutes and we are all done. So guys, thank you so much for joining me in my kitchen today. As always, I enjoy your company and I bless you on your journeys.